How long have your nights been hijacked by your mind, spinning, racing, refusing to let go? You close your eyes, but your brain turns up the volume. The more you try to rest, the more thoughts chase you down. Regret, overanalysis, stress. And before you know it, the sun is rising, and you're running on empty again. But what if I told you that your mind can learn to shut off, not by force, but by discipline? Not by trying harder, but by thinking less and understanding more. This is not just another sleep hack. This is a mindset shift, a reset, a way to command your thoughts, not be commanded by them. And it starts tonight. Because peace isn't something you find, it's something you train. In this video, you'll learn how to rewire your mental habits, reclaim calm, and finally sleep like a man in control. Each lesson is rooted in timeless clarity, not trends. And if you're tired of waking up exhausted, mentally cluttered, and chasing calm, this is for you. Don't just watch. Apply. Feel the shift. So if this speaks to you, hit that like button, subscribe for more content that brings real clarity and strength to your life, and share this with someone who lies awake, battling thoughts they can't shut off. Tonight, make peace your habit, not your hope. Let's begin. 1. Mastering mental stillness for restful nights. You don't need another podcast playing ocean waves. You don't need lavender candles. What you need, truly, is to regain control over the one thing stealing your rest, your own mind. For most men, the moment their head hits the pillow, the real noise begins. Not outside, but within. Thoughts loop, regrets replay. Future problems line up like an army. You're not moving, but your mind is running marathons. And that's the problem. Not the world, not the bed, your lack of mental stillness. We've been sold a lie, that relaxation happens by accident, or that peace is something that finds us if we meditate hard enough or stretch long enough. But peace isn't passive. It's a discipline, a practiced skill, especially at night when the mind tends to attack the hardest. Stoic philosophy never taught men to escape their thoughts. It taught them to command them, to be still, not empty, to focus, not wander. There's a world of difference between silence and stillness. Silence is the absence of noise. Stillness is the presence of mastery. The common mistake is thinking that not thinking is about trying to shut your mind off completely. That's like trying to stop a river with your bare hands. The more you resist, the more pressure you feel. But Stoicism flips that. It doesn't ask you to resist the flow. It teaches you how to direct it. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about the tranquility that comes when you stop caring about what others say or do, he wasn't referring to daytime confidence. He was describing nighttime freedom, a mind that doesn't spin while you sleep. A man who controls his thoughts so well by day that they obey him by night. Imagine your thoughts like a pack of wild dogs. If you ignore them, they bark louder. If you chase them, they run faster. But if you train them, consistently, daily, they sit when you say sit. That's what mental stillness is. It's not the absence of thought, it's authority over thought. It's clarity that doesn't depend on mood or caffeine or environment. And that kind of calm isn't built with journaling once a week. It's built with discipline, identity, and repeated action. You teach your mind to listen, not through force, but through pattern. Through nighttime rituals that don't stimulate, but center. Through letting go of what you can't control and locking in on what you can. Breath, posture, presence. So tonight, don't fight your thoughts. Guide them, train them. Speak to your mind like a general, not a victim. We're done for today, you say. You did enough. Breathe deep. Shoulders down. Eyes closed. That's how stillness starts. Not with magic, but with mastery. When your mind respects your command, your body follows. And peace? It's not something you search for anymore. It shows up because you did the work. 2. Letting go of control and finding peace. You've probably felt it before, lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to will your mind into silence. But the more you try to control your thoughts, the louder they get. It's like trying to calm a thunderstorm by shouting at the clouds. And yet, every night, millions of men repeat this cycle. Clenched jaw, tense shoulders, force themselves to relax. It never works. Because peace doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender. Control is a tricky word. It sounds strong, masculine, tactical. But the truth is, the more we cling to it at the wrong time, especially at night, the more damage it does. Trying to dominate every thought, every outcome, every possible scenario in your head is like squeezing a bar of soap. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. That's why so many men are exhausted but never rested. They mistake tension for strength, but real strength is the ability to let go when it's time. Stoicism teaches that you're not responsible for what the world throws at you, but you are responsible for how you respond. And part of that response, especially when the day is done, is knowing when to stop, to drop the weight, to let the mind breathe. Because thinking is not the problem, it's overthinking. It's trying to outthink exhaustion, trying to solve tomorrow while your body begs for rest tonight. That's not intelligence, that's sabotage. The common mistake is thinking control is always the answer. But imagine this, you're sailing. You can't control the wind, you adjust your sails, you don't curse the ocean, you read it. That's how Stoic calm works. It's not about suppressing thought, it's about redirecting it. You say to yourself, this moment is not for fixing, it's for resting. And that shift alone, mentally and physically, can change your sleep, your focus, your life. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the foundation you built while awake. If you've lived with intention during the day, you've earned the right to rest at night. No guilt, no mental loops, just presence. Stoics call this inner citadel, a fortress of self where external chaos has no key. You train your mind to know its place. You lead it, not follow it. And leadership means knowing when to push and when to pause. So tonight, when your thoughts start spinning, don't fight them. Let them float. You're not the prisoner of your mind, you're its commander. And a good commander knows when to order silence. Sit up, breathe deep, say out loud, I did what I could, the rest is not mine. Then lie down with purpose, not to sleep by accident, but to sleep with discipline. That's the paradox. Peace isn't passive, it's a powerful choice. And sometimes, the most powerful thing a man can do is nothing. 3. Transforming worries into peaceful acceptance. Today I escaped from anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me and my perceptions, not outside. Marcus Aurelius. You don't need a therapist to tell you this. Your thoughts aren't the problem. It's how you grip them. Most men lie awake not because life is falling apart, but because their minds won't let it sit still. The body is tired, the room is dark, and the world has finally gone quiet. But your brain? It's still in the ring, throwing punches at things that haven't even happened yet. You think you're solving problems, but you're rehearsing suffering. That's what most modern men do. They mistake mental chaos for responsibility. They think worrying makes them better prepared, smarter, more disciplined. But worry doesn't build strength. It leaks it. At its core, worry is a failed negotiation with reality. You think if you obsess hard enough, you'll control the uncontrollable, but you won't. And that's where most men go wrong. They try to think their way into peace instead of letting go of the war. Stoicism flips that idea. It doesn't say ignore your responsibilities. It says, handle what's yours, then release the rest. Accept what's out of your hands with dignity, not defeat. Because peaceful acceptance isn't weakness, it's power under control. Imagine your mind like a room full of alarms. Some are real, most are false. But if you jump at every beep, you'll never rest. You've got to learn to walk in, see the flashing lights, and know, not everything requires your reaction. That's what Stoic clarity is. It's not being numb. It's knowing where to put your energy and where to reclaim it. And the moment you do, sleep starts returning. Not just sleep, but rest. Peace. That deep calm that doesn't come from alcohol or screens, but from authority over your inner world. The problem is, we've been trained to chase certainty, forecast every outcome, micromanage the future. But the Stoics would say, that's madness. You're spending tonight paying interest on a storm that may never arrive. And even if it does, you'll face it with the same strength you've used to survive everything else. Why suffer twice? You wouldn't double pay your mortgage. So why double pay your stress? And so, here's the shift. When your thoughts begin to spiral at night, you don't resist them. You reframe them. You say, this isn't a threat, it's just a habit I can unlearn. Then you breathe. Not shallow panic breathing, but real breath. Deep, measured. You train your mind to follow you, not the other way around. That's not theory, that's discipline. And with practice, it becomes a quiet weapon, the kind of power that lets you close your eyes without fear chasing you down. So tonight, try this. Before bed, write down what you're worried about. Read it once, then burn it, figuratively or literally. You've given those thoughts a place to go. Now you permit yourself to rest. That's the Stoic way. Calm, clear, in command. Sleep like a man who's done enough and knows enough to stop. Because real peace doesn't arrive when nothing's wrong. It arrives when you stop dragging every burden into the night. 4. Embrace the power of presence for better sleep. The benefit of being fully present is simple. It calms the chaos. And at night, that's everything. When your mind races in bed, replaying mistakes, worrying about tomorrow, reliving arguments, it's not the world that's keeping you up. It's you. But presence cuts through that noise. Presence, real presence, isn't just a meditation buzzword. It's your way out of the endless spiral of overthinking that steals your peace and robs you of rest. Let's clear something up. Being present doesn't mean you ignore your problems. It means you stop solving imaginary ones. You stop mentally time-traveling to the meeting next week or the regret from 3 years ago. You stop dragging 1,000 past and future moments into a space designed for one, now. And that's the trap. That's where most men fail. They confuse motion with meaning. They think lying in bed and thinking things through is preparation. But it's not. It's paralysis. It's pacing the same hallway in your head over and over, hoping the floor plan changes. Presence is the doorway out. Now, imagine this. Your mind is like a flashlight. Wherever it points, that's where the energy goes. Most nights, you point it at everything except the room you're in. You aim it at that unpaid bill, that email you didn't answer, that conversation you wish went differently. And so your body's in bed, but your mind is in a war zone. Of course, you can't sleep. But what if, just for a night, you kept the beam right here? What if you let go of the ghosts? The Stoics were masters of this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Why? Because the present is manageable. It's all you can act on. It's where your power lives. Anything outside that, it's just a movie your mind keeps projecting. And you're the only one watching it. The Stoic way is not passive detachment, it's tactical focus. It's knowing that your breath, your posture, the feel of your sheets, the temperature in the room, these are real. Everything else is just noise you've allowed to get too loud. Here's the shift. Stop trying to shut your mind off. That never works. Try this instead. When the thoughts come, don't follow them. Acknowledge them like a car passing on a highway. You saw it. You don't have to chase it. Then bring yourself back to the breath, to the body, to the now. That's not a weakness, that's discipline. And it takes repetition, night after night. But eventually the mind learns, this is a safe place. I don't have to fight here. And when you train that kind of stillness, you earn more than sleep. You earn freedom. You're no longer a prisoner of your thoughts. You're the one driving. And the destination? Peace. Tonight, before you lie down, try this. Sit on the edge of your bed. Plant your feet on the ground. Take 5 deep breaths. Feel your hands. Notice the weight of your body. Say to yourself, not in a whisper, but like a man who means it, right now, I'm here, and that's enough. Then lie down. Let the rest fall away. This isn't a ritual, it's a reclaiming, and it might be the first real sleep you've had in years. 5. The art of disconnecting to reconnect with calm. At night, when the world finally goes quiet, most people's minds get louder. Thoughts race, worries loop, and the mental noise doesn't respect the fact that your body is tired. It's in those restless hours that many realize the real problem isn't the world outside, it's the inability to unplug from it. We've wired ourselves to stay connected to everything, all the time. Emails, notifications, news. Even when we set the phone down, our thoughts remain chained to it. We scroll to distract, but end up feeding anxiety. We chase stimulation, then wonder why peace never shows up. That's the contradiction most men live with. You want stillness, but you never truly step away from the noise. Disconnection isn't about escaping responsibility or running away from problems. It's about control, training the mind to shift from chaos to clarity. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. They didn't have smartphones, but they battled the same mental clutter. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, would rise early and write in silence, stripping away distractions to focus only on what he could control. For him, detachment wasn't a retreat. It was a strategy. To lead with calm, he had to first sit with stillness. Now compare that to modern men. You end the day, lie down, but your brain's still logged into everything. You're not tired, you're overstimulated. Your nervous system is fried from constant alerts, noise, decisions, and opinions. You don't need another productivity hack. You need a clean break from the mental junk. Disconnecting is how you reset the mind. It's not laziness. It's a form of discipline, a practice of clarity. So how do you begin? You don't need a cabin in the woods. You need a 30-minute pocket of stillness before sleep. Shut down the screens, sit in silence. Journal, breathe, stretch. Do anything that doesn't involve consumption. Think of it like sharpening a blade. Every day your mind gets dull with clutter. Night is when you clean it. That's where peace begins. Not from adding more, but from removing the excess. We've been taught to believe that silence is unproductive, that stillness is weakness. But in reality, the ability to unplug at will is power. You're no longer reacting, you're choosing. You're not escaping, you're mastering your inputs. That's how you prepare for sleep that actually heals, not just knocks you unconscious. That's how you reclaim mornings that feel intentional, not rushed. So tonight, disconnect not as a luxury, but as a ritual of self-control. Make space between your thoughts. Let go of the noise. Return to your center. And as your head hits the pillow, realize this: the most powerful sleep comes not from exhaustion, but from calm that you created yourself. 6. Clearing mental clutter with thoughtful reflection. Your mind isn't a storage unit. It's a control center. Yet most people treat it like a dumping ground, piling on every stress, regret, worry, and unfinished thought until there's barely room to breathe. Then they wonder why they can't sleep, why they wake up already tired, why peace feels like a myth. The truth is, inner peace doesn't come from trying to think your way out of chaos. It comes from stepping back and learning to observe your thoughts without drowning in them. Most men today mistake mental noise for mental strength. They believe being constantly on, constantly processing, planning means they're in control. But constant thinking without discipline is just mental clutter. It's like leaving every app running on your phone. Eventually it overheats, slows down, and crashes. That's what happens to your mind when you don't give it room to reset. That's what kills your focus, your clarity, your calm. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. They practiced evening reflection, not as some vague spiritual ritual, but as a sharp, daily mental discipline. They asked themselves, what did I do today? What did I do wrong? What can I do better? Not to beat themselves up, but to declutter the day, clear the mental noise, and train their judgment. They didn't let random thoughts hijack their peace. They audited their minds like a general reviewing a battlefield. And that's what most men miss today. We spend all day reacting, emails, deadlines, headlines, social media, and never pause to reclaim control. We fall asleep with unresolved frustrations and wake up to the same noise loop. No wonder so many men feel drained by morning. It's not life that's exhausting them. It's the unchecked weight of thoughts they've never sorted. So what's the practical move? Before bed, shut off the external noise. No screens, no scrolling. Just grab a notebook or sit in silence for 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what's still spinning in my head? Then simplify it, name it, write it down, let it go. Treat your brain like a whiteboard, not a storage bin. What stays on that board should serve your goals, your values, your peace. This isn't therapy, it's a mental strategy. You're clearing bandwidth for what matters. You're reclaiming your energy by refusing to carry yesterday's noise into tomorrow. And when you sleep after doing this, even just a few minutes, you sleep deeper. You wake up lighter. You move through the day with more discipline, more focus, more control. This is how you stop overthinking. Not by suppressing your mind, but by cleaning it up. Not with wishful thinking, but with intentional review. Not tomorrow, tonight. Quiet your mind before sleep, and you'll finally wake up as the man you're trying to become. Simple, clear, powerful. 7. Creating the perfect environment for mental and physical rest. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. You can't silence your mind in a war zone, and sadly most people sleep in one. Their bedroom is packed with noise, clutter, screens, and chaos. They scroll through negativity until their eyes burn, then wonder why sleep escapes them. The truth is, your environment isn't just a backdrop, it's a mirror of your mind. If your room feels like a storage unit or a digital battlefield, your nervous system won't stand down. No stillness, no peace. Just endless loops of overthinking disguised as productivity. We've been taught to focus only on mental tools, breathing, journaling, positive affirmations, but even the sharpest mind can't function in a polluted space. The Stoics didn't preach mindfulness in isolation. They lived it in disciplined simplicity, a life of order, clarity, and essentialism. That's not philosophy, it's architecture. Your surroundings must support your soul's structure. Think of your environment like a battlefield base camp. If it's not secure, no soldier rests. Same with you. That pile of laundry? It's not just messy, it's a reminder of undone tasks. The glowing TV? It's an invitation to escape your life instead of improving it. The harsh lighting? It confuses your brain, telling it daylight still rules. And all those alerts buzzing through the night? They're just modern enemies of deep rest, invading your last line of defense, your peace. This is where practical action matters. Remove all digital devices from your room. Yes, even your phone. Switch to warm, low lighting an hour before sleep. Keep the air cool and clean. Replace clutter with purpose. One chair, one lamp, one journal. Think of it as your fortress. Everything inside must serve your rest, or it's out. Keep colors muted and natural, like stone and earth. Introduce subtle rituals. Light a candle. Close a notebook. Hang a single quote. Make it sacred. A cue to your mind that the world can wait, but your peace cannot. Too many men think burnout comes from overwork. Often, it comes from the absence of renewal. From sleeping in a space that keeps the brain in survival mode. You don't need a therapist for that. You need discipline. And when you align your physical environment with your inner goals, a shift happens. You stop fighting the day in your head and start preparing for it the night before. So don't just ask how to think less. Ask where you are when you're trying to do it. Create a space that honors rest as much as work. A space where your nervous system can finally drop its armor. Your mind was never meant to sleep in a storm. Build yourself a place where silence feels safe again. That's not indulgence. That's strategy. And it's how Stoic wisdom turns into real-world recovery. One room, one night, one breath at a time. 8. Waking up with clarity and inner strength. Darkness fades, and with it, the noise begins again. Thoughts racing before the feet even touch the floor. Most mornings feel like a sprint from the very first second. A calendar full of pressure, decisions looming, responsibilities stacked higher than sleep allowed. But imagine instead a morning where the first breath feels like a reset button, where the body rises, not from anxiety, but from grounded stillness. That's not fantasy. That's what clarity and inner strength look like when practiced intentionally. It's not about chanting mantras on a mountain. It's about reclaiming control before the world pulls again. Clarity is not the absence of thought. It's the discipline to choose which thoughts matter. And inner strength? That's not about muscles or noise. It's about responding, not reacting. About being unmoved by chaos because the center is unshakable. Too many wake up already owned by yesterday, scrolling, comparing, thinking too much, too early. The Stoics refused that. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, began his days with silence, not stimulation. Before speaking, he aligned his mind. Before acting, he clarified his intention. And before the world could shake him, he anchored himself. This wasn't poetry, it was strategy, a battle plan for peace. The modern man faces a different battlefield, but the tactic is the same. Instead of reaching for a phone, reach for breath. Don't fill the mind with news or noise, fill it with direction. Define the tone of the day before someone else does it for you. Just like a compass must point north before a ship sets sail, the mind must point inward before it meets the world. Waking up in clarity starts the night before. Cut stimulation before bed. Design a simple system, no guesswork when waking. Have a single intention waiting at dawn. Simplicity sharpens action. Decision fatigue dies in the face of purpose. A focused morning is a strong morning. And strength doesn't roar. It's quiet, disciplined, intentional. When the inner world is in order, the outer world can't derail it. That's why clarity is power. It simplifies, it directs, it commands. Stop starting the day with clutter. That's not peace. It's permission for anxiety to lead. Instead, build a calm routine that moves from breath to movement to mindset. Let the sun rise with stillness, not noise. Let the first thoughts be your own, not borrowed from a screen. And let the man who stands up be the same all day, grounded, clear, steady. Sleep resets the body. Morning resets the mind. Use it, own it, train it, because no one else will. In a world that rewards speed and noise, choosing peace is a radical act. But as you've seen, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Each lesson shared today isn't just theory, it's a tool, a method. A quiet rebellion against a chaotic morning and a scattered mind. Because when the mind is steady, the day bends to your will. When your thoughts are clear, your actions follow. When you stop overthinking and start living deliberately, everything begins to change, from your sleep to your mood to your ability to lead yourself. So let this not be something you simply listen to and forget. Let it be something you return to, something you live. Start by owning the first moments of your day. Train your mind like a muscle. Direct it. Don't chase every thought. Stop letting emotion dictate your mornings. Practice stillness before screens. Breathe with purpose before speaking. Move with intention before reacting. That is how you build emotional self-control. That is how you develop daily discipline. And that is how peace becomes your natural state. Not something you search for, but something you carry. Transformation never happens all at once, but it begins with small, consistent steps. Steps you control. Anchor your day in clarity. Don't just wait for peace. Create it. Rewire your mornings. Reset your mindset. Let this be your quiet revolution. And now, I invite you to share your story. What habits help you start your day with strength? What changes have you made to silence the noise and lead yourself with calm? Drop them in the comments below. Your voice might be the spark someone else needs, because growth shared is growth multiplied. Speak not to impress, but to connect. You're not alone on this path. Let's walk it together.